welcome to the Serenity Solutions podcast, number 23. Just going to turn that music down. So, I haven't done a podcast for a couple weeks. I've been struggling with a virus that I'm pretty sure gave me pneumonia, not last week, but the week before. And it's been hard on my chest, my voice, my energy levels, everything. Still recovering. I didn't go and get antibiotics or anything, so still wondering what I should do about that. But I might just grab a natural supplement to help with immunity. Anyways, within that couple weeks, I did a podcast with Julia Smith, who is a psychologist, and the psychologist or counselor actually that I learned from when I was creating my business more seriously in 22, 23, online counseling business. And she had me on her show, I think at the end of February, and then released that podcast, I believe it was last week. So I have had a podcast in March, but anyways, this is my podcast for Sunday because I was still struggling with my voice. And I thought I'd jump on here for at least a little bit today just to talk about inconveniences to receive success or receive the things that you want in life. And I'm taking that from Ed Mylett's book, The Power of One More, Chapter 14, One More Inconvenience. So I'm just going to talk about that a little bit today, and then I'm going to pull some stress less cards because I know the collective has been stressed. Anybody that works in schools, it's been a doozy trying to fight these viruses and avoid these viruses, and then, leading up to March break, even though it's an amazing thing to have March break, it is a bit of a challenge leading up to that break for educators, and I'm very grateful to have it, but often we do get sick prior to the breaks, just pushing so hard. And I know there's other people who are going on vacations and have their kids for the next couple weeks or so at home and just need some stress help. And then at the end, I'll pull a numerology card just to provide a little entertainment. Maybe it will resonate with you if you're listening. It'll probably resonate with me. Usually does. But then it will likely resonate with some of you that are listening. So, I'm just going to get started here. So, Eddie starts this chapter with the quote by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. So, I just reread this chapter because, I just love Eddie so much. I don't do many podcasts without mentioning his name because I listen to his podcast on my walks all the time, and he really motivates me. He often has guests on, but he also does his own podcast, and I think I almost like his one that he does himself better. He's just so motivating and has so many good ideas. But he talks about how we do need to, any successful millionaire people have gone through a lot of inconveniences to get to where they want to be, right? And if you don't inconvenience yourself, you're likely not going to get to that point in your life that you're aiming for. I know when I was reading this chapter again, I thought about the times, because I've been in university for a really long time, 15 years of post-secondary altogether, throughout, I had to do prereqs to get into the master's program that I did, Master's of Counseling Psychology program, and in total, and all my teaching stuff, it all adds up to about 15. So it's a little crazy. But I just remember the inconveniences of staying home when I could have been out, with my friends partying, or maybe out where I could meet a potential mate or whatever. And I was home with my annals, studying or writing essays. And so a big portion of my life has been contributed to that. And, people talk about the challenges in their lives, and a lot of people talk about the challenges of children, actually, but maybe because I'm in that field, of working with kids and hearing about people's worries about their children all the time, that I get that sense more often. But it is a sacrifice to be in school for so long and avoid going out and avoid distractions. And for me personally, I needed to have quiet, and I couldn't have roommates. So a lot of debt added up throughout those years as well, because if I had roommates, I'd probably want to go out, and then I wouldn't do so well in school. I don't know if anybody resonates with that as well. But Eddie talks about doing the difficult things first. In the morning, like the first things you tackle should be the most difficult, and then it gives you a good start to the day and you get it over with. And it reminds you that the best things and the most amazing dreams are on the other side of the tallest hills and mountains that you're climbing. And he also talks about how satisfaction and self-esteem come from accomplishing these inconvenient tasks. So it's worth it in the end when you accomplish these inconvenient tasks, or you sacrifice, you're not going out watching football or drinking with your friends or whatever it is that you might be missing out on, but it's often worth it in the end, right? He also talks about mimicking others and copying others, and how there's a certain balance of learning from others, but not like when I read this part, I thought it is nice to have an example, right? But we need to put our own thoughts, our own journey, our own teachings, our own learnings into it. Otherwise, it's not super inspirational if you're kind of copying someone else. So it's great to have mentors, but you have to find that balance of doing it your own way. And I think that people recognize if you're not I know that people recognize when you're not doing it your own way, and putting your own spin on things. So, sorry about the coughing here. So, there's also attacking things with a sense of urgency. So, this part reminded me, so attacking those inconvenient tasks with a sense of urgency reminded me of the fact that I have a really hard time not working. I'm kind of addicted to working. I've gotten into a pattern of working most waking hours, aside from my walks, but I'm still listening to podcasts on my walks. But I think we all, if you are a hard worker and you are busy and you have multiple jobs or multiple responsibilities in your life, it is hard to stop and just relax, right? I know hustling and being busy is known, as a badge of honor, and we want to avoid that, because oftentimes I have to remind myself and others, because people throughout my life have been, oh yeah, I'm so busy, blah, blah, blah. But we have to stop and remember not to, life is short, and we have to have a bit of fun too. And that's something that I was thinking about yesterday, because my March break started, I guess technically today, Friday night, but every weekend is a weekend. And I worked on Saturday, which this podcast relates to not starting, because I've done my counseling business for many years now. Since 2015, I've been a registered clinical counselor, but just launching it in a more serious way and having a greater focus on it, where, counseling every weekend type thing, or counseling 1 or 2 days a week or something like that it's going to be a focus, more so than it has been in the past. Anyways, it is sometimes an inconvenience to work after I've worked all day, and put more effort into something, or like lately I've had computer problems or virus issues, and then actual virus issues of myself, but like computer virus protector, just shelling out a bunch of money to keep things rolling and keep things going, and marketing and websites and all that. It's a lot of work. So there's many inconveniences that are happening, in addition to giving up a full Saturday a week on top of working full time. But the reward is the business getting off and up and running, and becoming successful and growing, and being more of a flexible kind of career, and the vision I have, seeing that vision through, and knowing that that's gonna come to fruition if I continue with the inconveniences. And that's something I'm sure if you're listening, you've probably already thought about something that you're inconveniencing yourself for to get something that you want, right? So, even relationships, Eddie talks about the relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, they can be built on convenience, and that's, something that comes up sometimes, like friends. If you're partying all the time and you're going out partying, they want to hang out with you all the time. But when you aren't doing that and you're just at home making those inconveniences, you may not have that friend as much, because you're not doing the same thing as them, and it's not convenient really to be your friend anymore. That's an example. Romantic relationships where you might live in the same city, and it's convenient, or the person is devoting their free time to you, and that's convenient for them in that moment. But say they don't live in your city anymore, and you're not convenient to them anymore. That's like another example. Once you're an inconvenience to them, then you're not really wanted anymore, kind of thing. And then he ends with the idea of equanimity is essential when you're doing inconvenient things, because without it you'll eventually burn out. You can't sustain inconvenient efforts and rise to another level unless you approach life with the right mental mindset. So equanimity is key. So staying calm in, potentially chaotic situations, and being able to calm yourself and deal with it, kind of thing, is important. But Eddie talks about how we have to have a balance with this as well, because if we can't enjoy the really great things in life and the things that are kind of thrown on us, where we need to defeat those challenges, then we're not living our best lives. And this podcast could kind of feel like an inconvenience, like yesterday, maybe last weekend, because of my voice and my virus that is taking a while to go away. It's becoming a very inconvenient thing in my life, but I'm pushing through and providing this podcast today because I know that I committed to doing a podcast every Sunday. for however long that lasts. And I hope that I'm helping someone out there, or maybe providing some ideas. I really love this book, The Power of One More. Even reading that chapter today was motivating for me. And I just thought I would bring out some of my highlighted items in there. Maybe if you're, lacking a bit of motivation. I know with this virus that hit me, which is like a whole slew of symptoms with I'm pretty sure COVID mixed with bad flu mixed with pneumonia. And it's taken a lot of my energy and motivation away. But like I said a few minutes ago, I kind of get addicted to working, and I'm a very routine person, so I'm pushing through and I'm doing what I said I would do. And in hopes that it helps somebody else. So I don't know if this all made sense, because I'm kind of pulling it from the chapter, but I'm hoping it does motivate somebody today. I'm going to do those Stress Less cards now, and then I'll pull that Numerology card, and then I'll let you go. Keep it nice and short and sweet today. So just bear with me here while I shuffle the cards. And I'm just going to pull a couple, just like I said, to help us with stress. So the first one is swap out your daily cup of coffee for a herbal tea. That's the recommendation. So I need to start drinking my Clean Tox tea again. It just helps with cleaning out toxins, helps with liver support and kidney support. In the mornings, I have herbal tea. I sometimes add apple cinnamon or chamomile to that, and then have that with ghee and MCT oil while I'm fasting until usually 10 o'clock, and then I break my fast. So it's a healthy habit that with this sickness, I've had it a bit, but I've taken out the everyday routine of it because I can't stomach a lot of things with this virus. I also took my appetite away. But then something that's frustrating is when you get sick, as you guys probably know, you want things that comfort you, and that's all you want. You don't want the normal healthy foods. I just ate a salad with chicken, which is great, but I've craved bread and stuff like that more because I don't really have an appetite. So hopefully, if anybody else is feeling the same with these viruses, that helps you too. But anyways, it's telling us not to have coffee, which is fine with me because I don't like coffee. Now, this one I've done recently. It says, make up your bed with fresh, clean sheets. So, might be a motivation to do that. I've done that quite regularly lately because trying to get rid of any germs. But it always feels good to have a nice, clean bed. And I have animals, so I clean my bed quite often, my whole bedding. And, definitely when I'm sick, I like to clean that out. I even opened the windows a little bit last weekend, I think. Okay. Let's pull the Numerology card here. So, again, this is something that likely resonates with me. Sorry. But it also should. This is why I haven't done my podcast lately, because I have, coughing and voice annoyances and irritants. But, thought you might like to hear from me. So I'm just shuffling the cards and think, what do we need right now? What do we need? World, universe. I'm gonna pull from the middle to the end. Going with my intuition here. Ooh, this is interesting after reading that chapter. I got 41, self-discipline, which that chapter really reminded me of. To stay disciplined, but then I always think, but we gotta live our lives too, because sometimes I'm I work all the time, and don't do a lot of playing anymore. But anyways, Let me read this description. So, self-discipline. So somebody out there might need some more self-discipline, but let's see what it means. This card indicates a need for self-discipline, motivation, and action to improve your quality of life. By drawing this card, you are being reminded that you need to meet the universe halfway because your dreams won't manifest by themselves. This is a time to clarify your goals and to plan and prioritize your ideas. Sorry, I lost my page. And actions. Then take the mental, emotional, and physical action needed to make your dreams come true. This is so funny after reading that chapter. Holy smokes. And just talking about the virus and how it's taken a lot of my energy and motivation away. And look at the card that I pulled. Okay. You're being encouraged to rein in any thoughts and emotions that are contrary to what you're trying to attract. Okay, that makes sense too. Rather than letting your doubts and worries consume you, you must have the strength and willpower to focus predominantly on your dreams. You can attain those goals with a strong, disciplined mind when you surrender the outcome to the divine. So you can attain those goals with a strong, disciplined mind when you surrender the outcome to the divine. So that's like, let it flow, ask for what you want, but stay disciplined. This is a little bit controversial, but anyways, in order to improve your current situation, you are being asked to adjust to and harmonize with the natural rhythm and cycles of your life. Cycles that are encouraging you to be motivated and strong. This is where you need to play your part. The universe will provide the opportunities, but you need to see them through. Affirmation. With self-discipline and action, I make my dreams come true. So with, affirmation. With self-discipline and action, I make my dreams come true. So it's a reminder that we are not only can manifest, we all not only need to manifest what we want, but we also need to take action, which is coming up a lot on social media and on the podcast. And it makes sense, right? We can't just say, oh, I want a nice farmhouse in the country, lots of land with animals running around, and not do anything that's going to help us towards that goal. So it relates to this whole podcast about inconveniencing yourself and that it will be worth it. So getting up at 5 a.m. to do work towards your business before you go to your other job because you have another job to pay the bills, or maybe you have another job that is following your dreams, but it's not quite exactly what you want. For example, the podcasts that I listen to, the pros, the experts, the people that have gotten far in life do often talk about the fact that on our way to achieving our dreams, we will need to work other jobs to pay for everything, right? Because with businesses, it takes a while to get them off the ground, especially brick and mortar, where you're paying for rental space, you're paying for your website, you're paying for insurance, you're paying for computers, you're paying for your phones, you're paying for everything, and maybe mentors, business coaches to get yourself there. So there's definitely a lot of work that goes into it, but it is going to be worth it for me. And if you're doing the same, if you're in any which you probably are in some sort of pivot in life, or maybe you're working towards something, whether it is going back to school or starting your own business or changing your career maybe, or starting a family, or whatever it is that you're doing, you may need more motivation to do so. So I hope today's podcast has helped you with that, and that's where I'll leave it. So have an amazing, calm, serene rest of your day. Have a good one. Happy Monday, everybody.